Hello guys, welcome to Crunchy Tales. I am Gemma, your snack time movie companion. The series Dark Matter is adapted from Blake Crouch's novel of the same name, and one that leaves you questioning reality from the very first page. The first season consists of 9 episodes, and to truly understand the story, we'll explore them across 3 detailed videos. Today, we begin with the first 3 episodes, and the next videos will follow within a few days. Episode 1 name is Are You Happy with Life? It opens with an almost serene picture of family life. We meet Jason Deason, a physics professor at Lakemont College, his wife Daniela, who works at an art gallery, and their 15-year-old son, Charlie. On the surface, they seem ordinary. Jason is calm, methodical, precise in everything he does. Daniela moves quietly through her days, organizing art pieces, coordinating small events at the gallery, yet there's a faint sadness in her eyes, a sense that the artist she once was no longer exists. Charlie is lively, a mix of his parents' personalities, curious, playful, creative, and full of questions that sometimes make Jason smile and sometimes make him pause. Their life is smooth, almost deceptively perfect. But beneath the surface, a quiet tension hums. Jason and Daniela are content, but not truly happy. There is a subtle restlessness, an unspoken question lingering in the air. Are they really living or just existing? One morning, as Jason drives Charlie to college, he receives a call that disrupts the rhythm of his ordinary life. It's Ryan, a college friend, sounding ecstatic. Ryan has just won the Pavia Award in neuroscience, a monumental recognition, one that comes with not only a $1 million prize, but the promise of massive investments and groundbreaking projects worth multi-million dollars. He invites Jason to a celebratory party that evening. Jason congratulates Ryan politely, though inside, a mixture of pride and envy churns. For years, he has known he was smarter than Ryan. In college, he had aced every exam, solved problems others couldn't, and understood concepts that flew over Ryan's head. Yet here he is, a physics professor with a quiet life, while Ryan has become a giant in his field. And Ryan knows it. Jason drives on, glancing at Charlie in the rearview mirror. He watches the boy's enthusiasm as he adjusts the mirrors, shifts the gear, and navigates the street. Jason instructs calmly, "Slow down here, watch the traffic lights, remember, smooth steering." Charlie nods, eyes wide, thrilled to be trusted with the wheel. And in this ordinary father-son moment, Jason feels a pang of longing for paths not taken, for choices that could have led to more than just a contented life. Later, Jason enters his lecture hall, a familiar stage where he feels comfortable yet underappreciated. Today's topic is Schrödinger's cat, a concept that captures the imagination yet confounds the uninitiated. He begins explaining, "Imagine a steel box completely sealed containing a cat and a vial of poison connected to a machine. The machine operates randomly. If a tiny atom decays, the poison is released and the cat dies. If not, the cat lives." Quantum physics suggests that, until observed, the cat is simultaneously alive and dead. This state, called superposition, reveals a truth that stretches beyond ordinary understanding. Particles exist in all possible states until they are observed, collapsing into a single reality upon observation. Jason explains patiently, using examples and gestures, but the students are restless. Phones flicker, whispers spread, a few laugh at inside jokes. Jason ignores them, speaking as if to the universe itself. The bell rings, ending class, leaving him with a sense of quiet frustration. Knowledge, he feels, is wasted on those who cannot grasp it, or worse, those who do not care. Meanwhile, Daniela moves through her day at the gallery with Blair, managing exhibits and tasks. The camera lingers on her, capturing the small gestures, the tilt of her head as she studies a painting, the delicate way she arranges canvases, the faint trace of longing in her eyes. Random flashbacks show Jason meticulously recording his daily activities in a diary. Not his future schedule, but his every action throughout the day. Every detail noted, every movement observed. His mind, like his life, is orderly yet constrained. That evening, Daniela insists Jason attend Ryan's party. The bar, Village Tab, is just a short drive from their home. Jason hesitates but ultimately agrees, unwilling to create friction. At the bar, he immediately notices the atmosphere. Dim lights, laughter, clinking glasses, and a crowd buzzing with success. Everyone seems to know him. Ryan's colleagues praise him openly, and Jason feels a strange mix of pride and alienation. He is a physics lecturer, ordinary by comparison, yet they look at him with respect he doesn't feel he deserves. Ryan discusses his work, identifying the prefrontal cortex as a consciousness generator, generating $100 million in funding alongside his wealthy college friend Andrew, with plans to triple it soon. Ryan's vision includes his own massive neurotech lab filled with possibilities Jason can only imagine. Ryan thanks Jason for his notes, crediting him for aiding in his success, and offers him a job in his lab. The salary would be high, far above Jason's current earnings, but he must move from Chicago to San Francisco. Jason nods, thoughtful, promising to discuss it with Daniela. As Jason leaves the bar, contemplating the offer, fate intervenes. A taxi nearly hits him, stopping inches away. A beggar approaches on the metro bridge asking for money. Jason steps forward, but the beggar draws a gun, snatches his phone, and orders him into a car. Masked, the man knows Jason by name. He interrogates Jason about Ryan. Jason, trembling, mentions the job offer. The masked man drives him to a strange building, forces him to undress, and injects a drug that drags Jason into a heavy, surreal sleep. Through the haze of consciousness, Jason hears a question. "Are you happy with your life?" He answers honestly, "Sometimes I wonder what could have been, the paths I never took." The man responds simply, "What if you could take those paths?" And Jason loses consciousness. When he awakens, he is in a laboratory. Doctors examine him, run tests, quarantine him. He is physically fine, but utterly disoriented. Dr. Amanda, a psychiatrist, approaches, hugging him warmly, unnervingly familiar. She tells him he's been missing for 14 months and 10 days. His memories, she warns, may be scattered. Soon after, Jason meets Leighton, a college friend who seems overjoyed to see him. Leighton explains that Jason is now the chief science officer and co-founder of Velocity Company, where Leighton is CEO. Outside the room, dozens of scientists applaud him, leaving Jason stunned. He wonders, how can all these people know him? Why are they celebrating him? Leighton explains that Jason is the only person returned after a significant experiment, though Jason has no recollection of the masked man, the drug, or the abduction. Everyone presumes memory loss and decides to keep him monitored until his recollection returns. But Jason cannot stay. His mind is consumed with thoughts of his wife and son. He escapes the lab, reaching the biometric main door, which the guard opens after recognizing him. Jason hails a taxi and heads home, but what awaits him is nothing short of disorienting. His house has been completely transformed. Furniture, interiors, the entire atmosphere, it is foreign. Daniela and Charlie are gone. Instead, Dr. Amanda lives there, claiming she has been with Jason for a year. He enters his son's room, finding awards and magazines with his face, including the Pavia Award. He calls Daniela, but a stranger answers, saying it is the wrong number. Velocity agents appear, and Jason barely escapes. Daniela, the real one, repeatedly calls. When Jason finally arrives, the man in the house is not the original Jason. There are no scars, no signs of the previous attack. This Jason explains why he didn't answer calls. Ryan offered him a job, but he will not accept it because of a promise made to Daniela long ago, to live a normal life, start a family, and cherish her. Intimacy follows, during which Daniela notices a bandage on his hand. He avoids explaining, telling her she would not believe him. Episode 1 ends here. For clarity, the Jason with Daniela is not the original Jason. This is Jason 2, the masked man from earlier, who has entered a parallel universe. Jason 2 drugged Jason 1, Daniela's real husband, physics professor, and took his place. Jason 1 has been sent to Jason 2's world, where Jason 2 is wealthy, successful, and in a relationship with Amanda. Jason 1 struggles to understand this new, unfamiliar reality, while Jason 2 lives Jason 1's life to be with Daniela. The first episode sets the stage for a mind-bending, multiverse journey where choices, identity, and reality itself are questioned, titled Trip of a Lifetime. The episode opens with Jason 1, disoriented and panicked, wandering the streets of a city that feels both familiar and alien. He rushes toward the village tab bar, hoping for some semblance of normalcy. But the bartender doesn't recognize him. Jason freezes. The familiar world he knew, where his name meant something, where he belonged, it's gone. In a rush of desperation, he heads to John of God Hospital, hoping that science at least can explain this anomaly. Inside, he explains his situation, his voice trembling. I need a checkup. My wife is Daniela Dessen. My son is Charlie Deason. They go to St. Peter's High School. Please, you have to believe me. The doctor stares at him incredulously. Jason, there is no Daniela Deason in Chicago. No Charlie Deason exists anywhere, and you've been missing for 14 months. Your sudden reappearance, It defies explanation. Jason slumps into the chair, hands trembling. If they don't exist, then why are they alive in my memory? In desperation, he searches his own name online. The results stun him. He is famous here. Articles, interviews, accolades, everywhere, his face, his achievements. Yet none of it is his life. When he searches for Daniela using her original surname, Vargas, he finds a world-renowned painter, her work celebrated internationally. Her latest exhibition is imminent. Jason's chest tightens as he memorizes the location. He sneaks out of the hospital, careful to avoid Dawn, the bodyguard who watches him silently like a predator. The cityscape feels alive, as if reality itself is unstable. He moves quickly, each step weighed with urgency, fear, and awe. Meanwhile, in the first world, Jason 2 impersonates Jason 1 flawlessly. He mimics his every gesture, his daily routines, his subtle habits. He enters classrooms teaching physics, but with a daring arrogance that Jason 1 would never show. Students glance at him, confused and intrigued by his unorthodox approach. He berates students, mocks them playfully, and acts without the hesitation Jason 1 always had. He does not know their names, but he commands authority effortlessly. Back in the second world, Jason 1 finally reaches Daniela's exhibition. A manager blocks his entry. "Sorry, this is a private exhibition," Jason insists. "I'm Jason. You'll recognize me." Recognition dawns on the manager. She hands him an envelope, whispering, "For Jason." Inside are 3 cards, each representing a door leading to different sections of the exhibition. The theme is clear: roads not taken, infinite possibilities, and choices that shape worlds. A quote on the wall strikes him deeply. Footfalls echo in the memory down the passages we did not take, towards the door we never opened. T.S. Eliot Jason chooses one door, entering a hall filled with paintings inspired by his life, or what might have been. Portraits of himself, rendered in ways he never imagined, each illustrating a choice unmade. The air smells of fresh paint and polished wood, faintly floral from the gallery's decorations. Every step echoes softly, amplifying the tension, the suspense, the unknown. Daniela's eyes widen as she sees Jason 1. 14 months of absence melt into disbelief, fear, and recognition. Her voice trembles. "Jason, is it really you?" Jason's chest tightens. "Daniela, where is Charlie?" Daniela shakes her head. "Charlie? There's no Charlie here. I don't know anyone by that name." Confusion crashes over him. This world, it's real, but not mine. My memories, my life, they're fragments, unrealized here. Ryan appears, less successful than in Jason 1's original world, but secretly involved in experimental drugs linked to Velocity. He speaks of projects, achievements, and unacknowledged credit, but Jason 1 is unaware, lost in the dissonance of parallel realities. The guests leave, leaving only Jason, Daniela, and Ryan. Jason tries to explain, but a masked figure attacks. Jason falls into darkness. When he awakens, reality has shifted again. His wife, his son, they are gone. Here, he is a celebrated scientist, admired by many, a life unimaginable compared to his humble existence as a physics professor. Jason struggles to understand. Why is everything different? Why is your exhibition inspired by me? Daniela explains carefully. 14 months ago, you visited me. We spoke of choices, consequences, and the infinite worlds our decisions create. Every choice opens new realities. Jason recalls a secret project he once confided to Daniela. Jason 2 had continued that project, perfected it, and used it to access multiple realities. By swapping lives, he now lives the life Jason 1 had cherished. Jason 2, bold and aggressive, guides Charlie in risky ways, encouraging audacity where Jason 1 would have cautioned restraint. Daniela notices the differences, but finds the daring persona attractive, unaware that he is from another universe. Jason 1 uncovers the truth. The box. Originally a particle superposition experiment, Jason 2 scaled it up to accommodate humans. It allows a person to exist simultaneously in multiple worlds, to access parallel realities. Jason 2 perfected the technology, then located the world where Jason 1 lived with Daniela and Charlie. The swap was executed flawlessly. Jason 1 and Daniela share an intimate moment, but it is shattered by Dawn, who bursts in violently. He incapacitates Daniela and captures Jason 1, leaving him in the clutches of Velocity's secret operations. Episode 3. The Box. The episode opens with Jason 1 in prison inside the gleaming, cold corridors of Velocity Corporation. Leighton and Amanda, overseeing operations from their high-tech office, are oblivious to the fact that this Jason is not the Jason of their world. To them, his erratic behavior is the result of exposure to dangerous experimental drugs, a temporary mental disruption. Jason 1, meanwhile, watches as Don, the ruthless bodyguard with PTSD-fueled aggression, patrols the halls. He recalls the brutal attack on Daniela and shudders, realizing how deadly Don truly is. Leighton's plan: to restore Jason's memory forcibly. A heroic notion, but completely flawed. He's trying to jog the memory of a man who isn't even the original Jason. Yet Leighton is blinded by his obsession. The Velocity Corporation, founded 52 years ago by his grandfather, represents decades of technological ambition. Originally a jet engine company, it has evolved into top-secret R&D, dabbling in projects that flirt with the edge of science and morality. Over the last 14 months, 3 employees have vanished without a trace. Detective Mason arrives seeking answers. Leighton feigns ignorance. Even when Mason points out Jason's reappearance at hospitals and art exhibitions, Leighton acts surprised, though every muscle in his body knows otherwise. Amanda, increasingly uneasy, suspects Leighton's ethics are compromised. Don's unnecessary aggression toward Daniela, the missing employees, the unchecked experiments, it all signals a growing darkness inside Velocity. Meanwhile, in Jason 2's world, he is orchestrating a delicate social dance. Dining with Daniela, he encounters her friend Barbara, whom he pretends to recognize, though he has no memory of her. A delicate charade begins. Jason 2, ever meticulous, learns of a dinner party at Jason 1 and Daniela's house the next day, gathering friends he barely knows. The thought sends a calculated thrill through him. He must blend seamlessly. Back at Velocity, Jason 1, desperate and disoriented, plays along, pretending amnesia. Leighton shows him the legendary box, Jason 2's creation, the device capable of human superposition and multiverse travel. Jason 1 stares in disbelief. Theoretically, it's impossible. Schrodinger's cat becomes reality in Steel and Wires. Jason recalls his earlier research years ago when he tried to develop the prototype. Back then, he failed. The shielding, the particle stabilization, the superposition mechanics, all impossible at the time. Leighton explains, the box's shield uses a special adaptive alloy, nullifying environmental disturbances, much like noise-canceling headphones but for the quantum state. Superposition can now be maintained, enabling multiverse access. The catch: it's almost impossible to operate. Only Jason, who survived a previous trip, can navigate it safely. The other employees, Blair, 2 anonymous subjects, and others, never returned. Jason 1 digests this, his mind spinning. He reads Jason 2's research journals, understanding the painstaking effort behind the box. He learns Amanda's role as counselor, preparing participants mentally, regulating emotions, teaching hyperfocus, skills essential to surviving the multiverse. What if I'm not the person you think I am? Jason 1 asks Amanda. The truth is hidden. Jason 2 had mastered multiverse exploration, leaving Jason 1 to face the consequences in this world. Simultaneously, Jason 2 indulges in nostalgia, flipping through family files. He discovers a shocking secret: twins. In addition to Charlie, there is Max, long absent from this world. Jason 2 had no idea about Max, an emotional twist adding gravity to his actions. Back at Velocity, tension escalates. Leighton confronts Jason 1, demanding the box's operation procedure. Jason, frustrated, protests. He doesn't know how. His refusal triggers anger, and he is confined with Ryan. Ryan, guilt-ridden over Amanda's death, confesses the details of a drug he developed under Jason 2's guidance, one that temporarily suppresses specific prefrontal cortex regions, preventing brain decoherence inside the box. The observer effect, the bane of quantum consciousness, is temporarily mitigated. As Leighton and Dawn close in, Amanda arrives to rescue Jason. They sprint toward the box room, forcing the door open with Jason's instinctive hacking skills. Leighton and Dawn are right behind them. Amanda and Jason enter the box, locking it. The countdown begins, 3 minutes. If they fail, they will be trapped forever. Prepared with 50 doses of Ryan's drug, they inject themselves, losing consciousness. Jason 1's last thought, I have to get back to my family. The timer ticks down. When they awaken, they are no longer in the box, but in an infinite corridor, a boundless multiverse gateway capable of traversing countless worlds. Meanwhile, Jason 2 continues manipulating his first world. He gathers intel on party guests using subtle questioning and social media sleuthing, blending flawlessly. During dinner, Daniela marvels at this new Jason, impressed by his confidence. Jason 2 spins a story about a near-miss taxi accident and a life-altering moment of clarity, a clever fabrication to explain his boldness. Daniela accepts it, intrigued and charmed. Back in Velocity, Jason 1 confronts Layton and Dawn physically, asserting he cannot operate the box. Layton's ambition, a world where cancer is cured, poverty eradicated, multiverse technology harnessed, collides with Jason's helplessness. Trapped, Jason must trust Amanda and the drug to survive. The episode closes with the revelation of Max, the twin brother, and the infinite corridor stretching ahead, hinting at limitless multiverse exploration. Jason 1 and Amanda, united, are poised to navigate this new, dangerous frontier. Meanwhile, Jason 2 continues his manipulation in the first world, perfectly blending deception, charm, and intelligence. The stakes have never been higher, the multiverse more complex, and the lines between worlds, choices, and identities blur more than ever.